Hello everyone, it's time for another game collection update. This is pretty much just filler until I can work my Elgato thing. But yeah, I got about, 42, I believe, games to add to the update. But since I don't feel like, because the video software that came with this thing makes it so it takes like several hours for a video to get uploaded, so I'm just going to split this into multiple parts like I usually do, but this time I'm actually going to acknowledge that I'm splitting it up into parts. And for this first part, I'm just going to go over my, 3 new Genesis games and 5 Wii games. So yeah, starting off with Shining Force. Yeah. Now this is an interesting game. It's a lot like Fire Emblem, I want to say. Basically, you just play as a group of heroes, and you're traversing the land, defeating various enemies, whatnot. I'm not that far into the game. I'm still within like the first battle, I believe. But yeah, it's a fun little game if you enjoy the Fire Emblem series. While this doesn't have a permadeath feature, I don't think anyway. I'm not sure if it does or not. I can't remember. But no, it doesn't actually, because you can bring back a character at any time, so it doesn't have a permadeath feature. But the battles work out a lot like Fire Emblem, where you have this like pyramid thing where like this does good against this and that does good against this, and you can move characters around and fight different enemies depending on your location, and different characters have different reach. It's a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend picking it up if you could find it. I believe it's on here. I think there was a Game Boy Advance re-release. I can't remember what that was called. And I think it's also on the Wii's Virtual Console. I'm not sure where else you could find it, but if you could find it, definitely pick it up. It's a very fun RPG. So yeah. Next up is this here that I just dropped on everything. This is the original Mortal Kombat. Yeah. Now this, I mean, it definitely shows its age. Definitely. I haven't played too many Mortal Kombat games. I think I've played, aside from this, I may have played 2 and 3 with a friend of mine, because he downloaded like a Mortal Kombat Trilogy thing for his Xbox 360. I can't remember what that was called, if it was just called Mortal Kombat Trilogy or something. I've also played like some of the Mortal Kombat games that have you go on like these epic adventures and shit, and they're like more action adventure than straight up 2D fighting, like other Mortal Kombat games. But yeah, this is still fun. I'm terrible at fighting games, so I'm not that good at this, obviously. But it's still a lot of fun if you can get used to the controls and the smaller character roster than what a lot of us are used to. Really, I couldn't think of a more reason to go back to this one, though, unless you just want to have like a nostalgia phase, or if you're a collector like me, kinda. But yeah, it's still a decently fun game. If you want to go back and play the original one, there's several, like, thousands of ways you can do it. You know, there's this, I think Mortal Kombat, what was it, Deception on the PS2 has it? There's a Mortal Kombat Trilogy, like I was telling you about, that's on the 360, might also be on the PS3, don't know. And I know there's a lot of, like, plug-and-plays. Like, those plug-and-play system things that have this on it. So, yeah, there's that. And then the last of my new Genesis games goes to Shinobi III, Return of the Ninja Master. Yeah, if you notice, I didn't get the game cases for these. They just came with the game themselves. But this one here is actually pretty fun, actually. I didn't think I'd be having that much fun with it, considering, like, I've heard this is an amazing game, don't get me wrong. But after watching a lot of gameplay, it looked really... I don't know what I can really say about it. It looked challenging, I guess, but not that I don't like challenge. I love challenge. It's just that playing these old school games makes me realize how much I suck at video games. And this one's no exception. Granted, I haven't played long enough to get to the really difficult levels. I've only played like up to the first couple. I think I've got to like the horse thing, and then I was like, you know what, gotta move on. Not that I hated my experience, I had a lot of fun, but, you know, I have a shit ton of other stuff to play. But yeah, Shinobi 3 Return of the Ninja Master, it's a really fun game. There's so many different ways you can actually pick this up if you want to play it. It's, you know, basically what you can expect. It's, you know, you're playing as a ninja. I can't remember what his actual name is. And if I say the name I'm thinking, or I think, but the name I'm thinking is the dude from Ninja Gaiden. But yeah, there's several ways you can find this. You can get, you know, the Genesis one if you have a Genesis. If you have a PS2, it's on the Sega Genesis collection. If I had to guess, it's probably also on like Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection. It's downloadable on the Wii's Virtual Console and a lot of other stuff. But yeah, it's a really fun game. But that's it for Genesis. Now, jump ahead a couple generations to the Wii, starting off with this here that I only have the sleeve of. Technically, I don't have the case. I have the disc though. Nope, that's totally better. No More Heroes. Alright. Now, one second. Boom. Yeah, so you only got the sleeve of it. GameStop thing. Picked it up for $5, so. Now, I played this game before, back when I first picked up No More Heroes 2. And I remember, but when I played it then, because it was like a mistake thing, I got No More Heroes 2, but it came with the first game's disc. I only played up to the first boss and then, you know, went to trade in the game. Not that I hated it, but I wanted the game that I actually owned, that I ordered, or whatever. But now, this one's actually a lot of fun. The overworld in it, though, I can see why people had a lot of issues with it. And I definitely, I can see where people are coming from, where people are like, you know, they just needed to fix the overworld, not straight up take it out in the second one. But I can also see, like, the benefits to straight up taking it out, because the overworld in this game just isn't fun to go around. It's not. So I'd rather, you know, granted, if they would have just tweaked it a bit, it could have been great, but I don't hate that they straight up take it out of the second one. But, yeah, I would love to see, like, a No More Heroes 3 or something. That'd be awesome, but if it comes out, it would most likely be, like, PS3, 360, or PS4, Xbox One, whatever. Considering that seems to be where they went. But yeah, if you want... But yeah, it's a fun hack and slash game. Just turn your brain off, play it. You know, it's got a lot of great jokes, really kind of perverted jokes if you're into that kind of humor. There was a HD re-release of this onto the PS3, but called No More Heroes Paradise, I want to say. I think that's what it's called. Pretty sure. Someone can correct me if it's not. But yeah. Next up is another game. I got a case for it, but it's, yeah, as you can see, it's a GameStop case. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's Duel Transer. Yeah, it's actually Transer, if you can see that. Yeah, not transfer. Despite the actual case saying transfer. Yeah, I remember when I went to pick up this game, I, you know, asked the clerk at GameStop if they had it, and I kept saying Duel Transer, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they looked it up, and they're like, oh, transfer. You know, I was like, well, I'm pretty sure it's called Transer, but whatever. You know, she found it, you know, got it for, what, $10? It's a really fun game. The one thing I really like about it is, because a lot of people, once 5Ds came into the picture with its synchro summoning and stuff like that, they kind of got out of Yu-Gi-Oh! They got out of it. They thought this was either too complicated, or something. They were adding way too much to the rules, way too much to the basic rules of Yu-Gi-Oh! But this game right here, your starter deck is really, really good, and it can last you quite a bit until later levels. But the game doesn't expect, like, the one thing I could say is I really wish this game had, like, a tutorial to teach you about synchro summoning, because that was a new thing for Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, and I still know a shit ton of people that don't quite get the grasp of synchro summoning, how that works, and anything like that. But this game, your basic deck has no synchro monsters, has no tuners, has none of that. You start off with your basic, you know, just normal monsters, effect monsters, you know, monsters that you have to special summon, whatnot, rituals, that kind of stuff. Later on in the game, you can buy packs and stuff like that to get, to get synchro monsters, get better monsters and stuff like that. But it's a fun game still. So yeah, I really enjoy it. I might pick up some of the other Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds games if I ever come across them. But yeah, fun game right here, Duel Transer. And I'm going on for longer than I thought. Next up is a game that I've been wanting since it came out, simply because of one specific title in it. The Metroid Prime Trilogy. Boo. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Metroid Prime series. Prime was what got me into the Metroid series. I know a lot of Metroid fans would, like, crucify me for saying that, but I really did enjoy the Prime series, and I managed to find Prime 1 and 3, as you've seen in previous game collections, but I could never find Prime 2. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm going to get the Prime Trilogy, which I got for, like, I think it was 40, 50 bucks, so I could play Prime 2, and so far I've only played Prime 2 in this, and I'm really enjoying it. It really surprises me that, as you can see, all 3 of the games are on one disc. That's what really surprises me, and it's not like a dual layered disc, as you can see, like some other games might be. But yeah, it's a really fun game. The controls are beautiful. I love the Wii's controls for Metroid games. So yeah, it's just an amazing game. I'm so glad I finally got the trilogy, because then now I can enjoy all the Prime games and everything. And so far, Prime 2 is an amazingly fun game. I've already played Prime 3, the original Prime. I've already said my stuff on that. I could say more if I ever Let's Play those games. But Prime 2 is a really fun game. But yeah, Trilogy. Second to last one here. This is Sin and Punishment Star Successor. So yeah, this year I actually got for free when I picked up a couple other games. And that's the only reason I picked this up, was because I was getting it for free. But, it's still a fun game. I don't I don't hate, I didn't get it for free because I thought I'd hate it. I got it for free because I didn't know much about it. This is a game that, this is a Wii game that really not a whole lot of people paid attention to, and those that did pay attention to it said it's an underrated classic and people definitely need to give it attention. And now I've played it, I wholeheartedly agree. It's a very challenging game. It uses the Wii's controls for a lot of amazing things, and it's just a whole lot of fun to play. I do wish more people paid attention to this game and would give it a lot more attention, because it definitely needs it. I would like to see more Sin and Punishment games. I believe I heard there was one on the N64. I might keep an eye out for that. But yeah, still very fun, kind of on-rails shooter game. So yeah. That's Sin and Punishment. Alright. Last one I haven't spent a whole lot of time on, but yeah. Dead Space Extraction. Yeah. I've never played a Dead Space game in my life. Okay, I'm just gonna straight up say that. I didn't go into this as a Dead Space fan. I never played any of the ones. No one I know that owns a PS3, 360, whatever the fuck Dead Space has been released on, has a Dead Space game. So I went to this not knowing anything about the Dead Space series, and I gotta say, it's an actually really fun on-rails shooter. It definitely does a lot of things that I wouldn't expect from an on-rails shooter, and it actually manages to keep a bit of the scare factor a bit up there. I mean, probably not as high as Dead Space fans would like, but yeah. Wish I could say more, but I haven't spent a whole lot of time on this. So yeah, Dead Space Extraction. But yeah. That's it for part 1 of this. As you can see, it's already hitting my time limit. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next part where I talk about some more games on this collection update. So, bye-bye.